Hi everyone, it's Laura from Laura's Handcrafted Treats and Treasures. Welcome to or back to my channel. Alright, I have a little something here. I had posted on Amanda's Facebook page that I am working on these journals, and I'm not gonna do like a full-blown tutorial, but I'm just gonna give you an idea of where I'm going with this. So my sister-in-law had asked me to do some travel journals. At first it was 3 and then it was 4. And I thought, well, this was going to be the perfect kit because they're going on some sort of a sabbatical and they're going to be in London. So I thought this would be great. I'm going to do every single one of them the same, except they are going to have different nameplates on them, obviously. But this is sort of where I'm going with it. So let's first look at the covers. All the covers are the same. And what I did, which we're going to get to, is this is an envelope, like those manila envelopes, only I had some thicker ones. I had 3 thick ones, but then I did have to use the manila. Underneath, before I put the fabric on, I just went ahead and gessoed anything that might come through as dark, if it had red or anything on it. Then this fabric I found at Walmart, and I happened to be looking through. I was actually looking for something different, and I was like, oh, that I wanted to do fabric. That's going to work for my covers. And I still have plenty. I was able to cover 4, and I think I can probably do 3 more. So it was a yard. I might be able to do 4 more. Anyhow, so that is what I used. And then this came from the ledger paper that Amanda had given us, if you're a member of her Ko-fi. Now remember, everything is going to be linked in the description box. Her Facebook page, her Ko-fi, and her YouTube channel. So this kit you'll find in her Ko-fi shop. If you're a member, you can just go grab it. And if not, just sign up. It's not that much. And you get lots of beautiful digitals. So I'm going to pair it with that for the covers. And I made each one of them the same. Obviously, wherever the pattern landed for the fabric is where it landed. So I have the book in there ready to go. I have this book in here. This is my template book ready to go. And then this one I have really ready to go. So I'm ready to sew that signature. That's my next step. But I thought I would just kind of bring you along with this one. So again, I just wrapped it, and what I used was glue stick. And that seemed to work very well. I used a premium or permanent glue stick by Scotch. This is my favorite glue stick, and I'm not unhappy at all with the way this has come out. So I've got that done, and then of course it's such a thin paper or thin fabric, I wasn't worried about overlapping and this and that. It works, as you can see, just fine. You know, I've got a lot of movement and it's gonna work just fine. All right, so then of course I took my little papers here, glued them in, and I did this, I changed it up because I felt I needed a stronger grip. So I did this with Fabrifix, Fabri-Tac, anything like that. And then I wasn't too concerned about the center right now. But what I did do in each center is I sort of drew a little bit of a line like this. So that way when these are laid down, I know that they're not touching the middle, which they all should be about the same size. And then I had coffee dyed fabric that I just cut to size, and then that is going to get laid down the middle. The reason for the line is what I did was I kept it here to here, and then I sort of eyeballed it as I was laying my fabric down to keep it in the middle. Once I kind of got it down, and I used the Fabrifix for that as well. When I kind of got it down, I didn't really push it hard. I just sort of went like this and went, yeah, looks good. We'll go with it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to get all the signatures sewn in, And then I'm gonna show you what I'm doing for the signatures. So I want this to be very, very simple, so that they can do writing, they can put brochures, they can put pictures, they can journal their trip. So this is a form I've used. So for anybody who's new to Amanda's channel, if you go into the file section of her files, she has allowed me to put my little guide in here. And what I do is I go through, some of you may know this, but I go through and then I start looking at the pages and I'll go, okay, I want this to be simple, so I'm going to use 20, and then I flipped it over and I'm going to use 19. So I put my little tabs on here. I put my little X's that I have chosen them so that I don't choose them again, and then I move on. So this one is going to be 18. That's going to be this one. I may omit that, I don't know yet, but it's going to be this one. And then so on and so forth. And then I put an X, yep, got that one, and then I just keep moving. And then don't forget to erase your X's. I use a pencil, because if you don't, then you get going on the next time you're going to use it, and then you forget which X's you don't want to use. All right. And then I have added a few to these, so I think there's a blank one too, so that's a newer one. And then I just, if I see a pocket or something I like, I just duplicate it, and then that way I always have like a little guide. It helps from flipping through the book, although I have that too, but it just saves me time. Okay, so we have all of that done. So, like I said, this isn't going to be a super long video. I have been having a busy, busy summer. Go, 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 go. Which I'm happy for because, yeah, I like to go. So what I've done is I've gone through and picked out, you can see this was number, I think, 19 and 20. So 20's on that side, 19's going to be on the back. I have them all ready to go. I've got that one done. I've got this one done. I've got the middle. So this is going to be the layout in the middle of the signature. And I've been doing a lot of prep work. So that's going to go here like this. So I've got that ready to go. And I have all of the pieces for all of the other pages ready to go. All right, so these are obviously leftovers. These are either going to be used as tags or journal. I'm going to back them, and then they can use them to journal on when I get the pockets done. So that's all going to be used. I have a bunch of scraps over here, and I have an idea for that, but we'll hold off because I have all these little pieces that came off when I was obviously cutting the other papers, and I thought, I think I have an idea for those. So we're going to set all that stuff aside. I'm going to try to use up every piece that I have printed. So here is, oh, and then this one was just from a die cut. I have all those ready to go. Then this morning I went and printed all of the other papers that I'm going to need because I still have more pockets and stuff to put in there. So anywhere that I don't have a pocket is going to be just a blank space. And you're going to see a lot of them. I've got a lot of writing and a lot of blank spaces so they can put pictures and they can journal. Okay, I'm going to go get all of this stuff done, and then I will be back to show you what I did. See you in a minute. Okay, I'm finally able to get back to working on the Adventure Awaits journals. Yep, I've gotten sidetracked. I've had some other things, and when I started this I had nails, and now I don't. So there, you can see I've been just too busy, but I'm able to get it done. Well, at least continue today. So I have gone ahead with my scan and cut, and I have cut out all the little fussy cuts of the kit. I did 3 of them. I may go back and do a 4th because my main goal was to back these. But I may, That's the same one. I may do something a little bit different because I'm thinking about making something that goes over top of the book and has magnets on them, and then these would stick together. But we'll get to that. But I have all those cut out and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put silver book corners on each one of them. This will also get a spine, so we'll get to that a little bit later. I've also picked out, found, and I have thinner stuff, and I can't find it. It's here somewhere. But I want to do some sort of a closure, or I guess a elastic, where they can pull it off very easily and get into their book so they can jot some notes down if they want to. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to look for my thinner stuff. I think the thinner stuff would be better. Then I have some charms here, and I'm going to put charms also on the ends of my little elastic, but that's why I'm looking for my thinner stuff. I mean, just proof positive you can have too much stuff when you can't even find it. So I have those, and then I have actually sewn in. All of the signatures are sewn in. Okay, and then let me find my original, or maybe that first one was, where I had gone through and laid out all of the tags. Yes, so I've already started gluing in, and I'll show you here. So in the middle, I have all of these glued in, okay? And then once I have everything done that coordinates with these tags, I'll take it out. I'm not going to do one at a time and finish it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one element. So I'm going to find 20. I'm going to go through and do all of 20 and then continue that way. I was getting a little overwhelmed with so many different pockets that I had to be like, okay, I have to start getting some of them in here. And then another, just maybe a little tip for you is, I wasn't worried about this getting glued to this, but visually I was having a tough time when I started to line it up to be like, okay, where is the actual edge? So I went ahead and did this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And like I said, they're done on all other 3 books. I'm trying to get as much done as I can right now. I need to set this aside, and I need to start working on my craft shows. I have some things that need to be done, and I've got to get working on them. So basically, I left this top open, but I did glue this side down, I think. Yeah, just gotta wait for it. So once these are completed, I'm gonna take those stickers off and call this page done. The reason I have right and left on here is when I was making my templates, I used one particular one and used it over and over for my rights or my lefts. Okay. And these don't line up perfectly on this particular one because I had put the white paper behind it, but that's okay. So these come off. Those are done. Now I'm going to go back through, and then I'm going to look at my guide, and I'm looking for 20. I have them all here inked up and ready to go. So I am looking for 20. 20 was the pocket that is going to go. Let's see. There it is. And it is going to go this way. In the thing, it looks like it's going this way in the little diagram, but it is going this way. So I'm going to go ahead and move that. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball it first before I put it down, just so I can see where it's going to line up. And then I'm going to ink here, here, And here, I'm going to get that lined up. Excuse me if my head's in the way. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I do kind of want to line those up. And make sure my back is, you know, back here is kind of lined up. Froggy. Okay, and then this way they have tuck spots for paper. I'll probably put some paper in there. They'll have extra writing spots. So now I'm not going to go through here. I'm going to grab the next book, and then I'm going to do 20. I'm going to do that all the way through with everything that I have, and then I will come back after that. So I'll be back. Okay, these journals are close to done. I'm waiting for a couple more things that I need. I need to finish some spines. I'm only going to flip through one. I just need to get this video done. I started it back in June. Yeah, like June 7th. I just have not been able to get back to it. I've been working on the books, but I just have not gotten very far. A little bit each day. Anyhow, this is what the book it looks like. I don't know if I'm going to add any more. I kind of just like the cover the way it is. I have put book corners on them, front and back. And then I made these little charms, and each one of them will get this little charm. So it has a tree of life, a key, and an angel. And then I just added some beads. I was waiting for this lace to come in. It was so funny because Amanda had posted something about the craft room and, you know, all this stuff and never finding what you actually want. And I'm like, yep, just did that. I looked through all my stuff and I was like, no, nothing worked. But this did. So I found that on Amazon, and it was just perfect. I did use Fabri-Tac. I'm not going to go through doing the process, but basically what I did was I took my art glitter glue and I glued the middle of the ribbon. I'm sorry, after, I should do this first. After I glue this on, I just glue a little chunk right there. And then I went and did one little stream of glue down that center to hold that spine. And then I took my finger once it was on there, and then I just lifted it up, and then I would put the Fabri-Tac and rub it along there and then put it down. I had to go back and do a couple different spots, but no big deal. That's how I got it on there, so that they can just open and then they'll still be able to write and stuff. So that's one is almost done and in the works. And then this one I'm waiting for elastic because I ran out of 1mm elastic. You know, in particular, I want them all to match because they were all going to be exactly the same. So I'm waiting on elastic for that one before I can even put the ribbon on. And this is the one that we're actually going to look at. The reason I'm going to look at this one and it doesn't look as thick is because I do have these all filled, but I have them filled with something from a different digital. So I don't want to show that, and I want to keep you know, in honor of Amanda's digitals, I don't want to show the other ones. Okay, so what I had left, I had a little bit of these left. This is no big deal because I can make tags. I can put it in a different journal. I can even make journal cards with these, but they are not going in this journal because I'm all set. These are just to show you where the tuck spots are. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so I have a nameplate. Each one of them will get a nameplate. Those are done and ready to go in. And then, of course, you see I have pockets, but I just want to show you how you can fill them. So on this one, I had two different, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last time around, it's been so long, but I had two different cutaways that I didn't use. So I put them together, backed them, but they were still sort of wonky. So I just took a little piece of washi tape and then glued that down, and then that became a tag. And then over here, there is another tuck spot. I just used the little fussy cuts to embellish some of the pages. These are all I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna add some more sentiments and some more things because they are going on a sabbatical. It's a Christian trip that they're going on. So I'm gonna add scripture and stuff to that. But they have blank pages, plenty to write. They're gonna be gone for I think 10 or 11 days. So there was lots of pages and stuff for them to write on. Okay, so this is another tag that, can't remember. Oh, it came from part of what you'll see. We'll get to it. So I took the rest of it, covered the back, and made little tags. Then here is a belly band. I actually took this from Amanda not too long ago. She did this in the journal that she's working in, and I thought, oh, I like that. So just something different. So I just made that tag shape and did the belly band. And then, of course, we have another tuck spot here, and everything matches up. And then another tuck spot here. And the actual journal cards that I have in there, I have 11 of them for each day that they're going to be gone. So they not only have those, it's like, you know, what did you do today? What do you expect for tomorrow? Verse of the day, stuff like that. So then there's pictures. They can put pictures. And then I just love making these, but I made this one a little bit bigger. I normally make them a little bit smaller, but I wanted them to have lots of writing. And this is where the rest of that one came from. I just backed it and made it a little thicker for the tag. And then you open these, and then they have all of this journaling. But then they also have another pocket. So I do need to go through and do a little bit of inking. I may put a tab on here, just a little tab that they can grab that. But this also was a extra that I didn't need. So I made a journal card out of it. And then, of course, we have our pockets here. And again, there'll be little sentiments here. And then I have journaling, picture. And then this one, I love to do these, but this one is, I took the extra paper that I had. This one I matched up so that it all flows when the journal card is out, but then just made matching journal cards. Okay, get back in there. It does go in. Trim it a little bit if it doesn't, but it does. Okay. More pictures or journaling over here. And then, of course, and I mirrored a lot of the pages. So if I did this on the first side, I did it on the second side. I needed this to be quick and simple, and it's taken me over a month. So to do 4 of them, I just don't have a lot of time right now in the craft room. But anyway, I did this belly band, and then I've done my little die cut fan pocket here. And then again, I did the same thing. I took the offcuts, made a tag, and then I had more little offcuts that I was able to grab a picture of with my die cut and able to get that in there. So I got that. And then I have my pocket here again. And then the pocket on the back. I may do something here or on the back. I thought about making like a little bit of a deeper pocket, which I think would be better in here, like making a little bit of a gusset of a pocket so that if they wanted to put brochures or stuff things in there really quick. I think these might be a little bit short for a brochure. They really needed a taller travel journal, but this is what I have. But some sort of pocket where they can still write in here. They can write their itinerary. They can do that in the front too. Write your itinerary right here. And I actually printed off where they're going. I made little tags. In fact, here they are. So I made these for their journey because I had their itinerary. And I might just cut these apart and put them in a little bag where they can put them somewhere they want on whatever day they're going to be there. Okay, so enough of that. This is going to be the end of this video. I hope it inspires someone. I know there was someone that had commented on my post when I first posted that I was working on the journals, and she needed, I put the link for Amanda's video that she did on these journals, but I can't remember your name. But if you see this, I hope this is inspiring to you. Okay, what's next? All right, I have not had time to work on the June, and Amanda's already coming out with July. I was doing so good, right? For a year and a half, I was able to keep up on every month, but gosh, this year has just gotten away from me. But this is the June Journaling Joy. I don't remember the name of it, but this will be the next video that I work on. So I have, well, I don't know if it'll be the next video, but I am working on it. So I have all my pages printed, my fussy cuts and everything. So we'll get into that when I start this video. So let's bring this one back in because this is my finished product. And yeah, so thanks for joining me. I hope you found this inspirational, and have a great day. See you in the next one.